Superman issue number 7. And not only is this issue 7, this is issue 850 of the Superman title. That seems kind of low, doesn't it? I guess, like, Action Comics has been around longer. Like, 200 issues longer, I guess. So, cool, 850. That's, I don't know, it seems kind of low. That's kind of like Spider-Man numbers, but I guess Spider-Man was being pumped out more than Superman. Very cool. 850. It's a big, special, oversized issue. It's not an annoying, oversized issue where it's like a bunch of different stories by various people. It's kind of just, here's a few things you need to know for Superman coming forward, and kind of overarching for the next event at the DC universe. Maybe next event. Hard to say. Because Night Terrors was so bad, I feel like they'd be hesitant to try another event with Williamson at the helm, but there seems like the actual one to do. I don't know. This book opens up with our favorite editor-in-chief, Perry White, smoking a cigar, remembering the old times when he first saw Superman enter the sky, and he's like, this city's cool, the world's changed, this guy rocks, I'm all for it, and because of him, and because of, like, my love for the city, I'm gonna run for mayor. Perfect. A great idea to do something with Perry White. It ages him up, you know, when we're in, like, this universe where everyone's kind of aging at different paces, it makes sense for Lois to become, like, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet. It would make sense if we want to do stuff with Perry White, he'd run for mayor. It's very much like the J. Jonah Jameson route, and that's kind of cool. Those are both two cool characters. I love JJJ and I love Perry White, so it's really fun. So we see Perry White giving, like, his speech for, like, his candidacy, where he's like, I'm going to, like, support this city every way I can. And that starts with, like, helping the people of tomorrow. As he is doing that, this is when the Chained was freed from his prison. So things start to, like, fly into the sky and everyone's being attacked. And the Chained shows up, right? As we see Perry White giving his speech. So there you go. That's what Perry and Jimmy were a part of. And now the super family is going to show up. Kara, Connor, Keenan, and Natasha are going to show up to fight the Chained because Superman is still chained up in the prison. Very cool. Really fun. And you're like, are they going to do a good job fighting him? Hard to say. We cut back to the prison at Stryker's Island, and Superman's like, I can't break out of this. Mercy's trying to tell him, we can just call Lex. He can do it for you. It'll all be easy. Just call him. He's like, I don't need Lex for this. I can do this on my own. So Superman starts to vibrate. And Mercy tries to ask the obvious question, like, it's going to match your speed. Like, there's no way you could go around this. And that's what Clark's like, well, I have more than one power, you know, and he vibrates hard, he uses his laser eyes, and he can break free of the chains. Because he's Superman, it's really impressive. Cut back to the fight, nobody's really getting, like, a good lick on the guy, and the Chain is like, I've seen that logo, you're just like the other guy, but your powers aren't as strong, you're very limited. Making fun of Connor. You're like, oh man, what are we doing to Connor? It's terrible, but of course Clark is freed so he can join the fight and help out. He's like, this is a symbol. Let us help you, please. We don't want to hurt you. He's like, that symbol, the symbol on your chest, the same one that's on the building owned by Lex Luthor. It's all connected to Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor's the bad guy. I'm going to beat you all up because Lex Luthor sucks. And he starts to topple buildings. And we have a sequence where Connor and Kara are going to, like, stop people who are, like, in the buildings that are being toppled. Connor is using his, what's the kind of, like, telekinesis he has? Tactile telekinesis? Don't try to ask me what that means, because I don't know what it means, but it's a power he has where he can stop things? What's the difference between, like, tactile telekinesis and regular? I don't really care. It doesn't matter, but, like, apparently the Chained has the same type of, like, telekinesis as Connor, so they can use that to stop him somehow, or it's, like, all from Luthor. Or is it, I don't know, like, what's the origin for Connor in this timeline? Is he still, like, cloned-ish from Lex? And maybe that's why he's got the same type of power as the Chained? Is that it? I don't know what we're doing with Connor at the moment, so I can't answer that, but they can't defeat the Chained. Superman has one idea, we have to lock him back in the prison and then figure out what to do with him. At that moment, Dr. Farm and Mr. Graff show up and they're like, yo, Chained guy, we hate Luthor too. You want to come with us so we could go take him down? And that's what's going to happen. Cut to the penitentiary where Lex is being operated on because he got shanked in prison numerous times. And who shows up to greet him in the hospital? It's Lois Lane. And she's like, look, if he wants to leave, I say we let him leave. I'd love to write his obituary. And she's like, look, Lex, we've been through a lot together, so I want to have a conversation with you, like a real one. Clear the air. It's going to be off the record, just you and me. What is your end game here? Because I've known you long enough. There's always like a side hustle with you when it comes to stopping Superman. So can we just please cut it out and tell me what it is? I'm getting real tired of all of this. And Lex is like, you think you know me. But he also lied to you, you know. You know, there was a secret under your nose that you didn't know. So don't get mad at me when I don't tell you everything. We're used to lying in our game there, Lois. That's what we do. And Lex goes on to explain his, I guess, current state of mind. Where he is at with everything he's done. They fought for years. Superman always showed him compassion. Even when there were moments when Lex didn't deserve it, Superman was always nice to him. And he's like, I don't understand this. I don't understand why he's being so nice to me. I tried to be a hero and I made mistakes and I realized it's hard and I couldn't do it because I couldn't be Superman. I was not good enough to be Superman, and it got me thinking, what would happen if you looked into the abyss and the abyss looked back? You know that old saying? When you look into the abyss and the abyss looks back. But what if the abyss looked back and saw Superman? Could he change the abyss the way he's changed me? You're like, oh, so over the years of doing this silly operation, trying to be the villain, the hero, the guy that does good, to change humanity for the better, Lex starts to realize maybe the way Superman has treated me has been right, and I've never seen that before, and he has changed me. He has shown me like a proper way to behave. I'm like, hey, sure, that's a funny idea and I really dig it. And now Lex is on the right path to redemption, to doing the right thing. Who knows what that looks like? But Lois is like, I really don't think that sounds like a normal thing to say. So you still sound like a villain. And you hear like a voice off screen, like, you're so much like your father. You both allowed your obsessions to consume you. And who shows up? It's Lex's mom. And she is Letitia Luthor. And she was supposedly dead, but she's not dead. It's just like some gossip that the Daily Planet wrote, because Lex actually bought her like an island where she could live on forever and stay away from him. But she's like, I still like have some stake in the board of directors, and I don't like the way you're doing all this crap, going above me, changing all the rules of your company to do this stupid Supercore stuff. So we're going to have a serious conversation about how you're handling our family name, you dick. He's like, Mom, I don't got time for this. He's like, ugh. Also, I didn't come alone. Your daughter's here. And then suddenly we meet Lena, his daughter. Oh. Again, I've been out of the loop for a bit on Superman. Is this a new revelation? Lois is acting kind of surprised. She's got like 3 dots on her head. Does that have a connection to Brainiac, who appears in the next like page? I don't know. But hey, Luthor's daughter's here. She is young enough to potentially date one of the Superboys, if we're going to do that. Maybe Keenan, you know? That could be something we're going to do. I don't know. But that's where this part of the book ends. Lois meets the mama Lex and the daughter Lex, and that's when like the plan is in motion, and we cut to Brainiac just off in space. He's doing the plan. He's like, I've wasted so much time trying to take down this Kryptonian Kal-El. He's been a dick. Every time we fought, I've lost because I'm such a loser for some reason. I don't want to be a loser anymore, because now he's got like a big badass family and I have nothing. So he's already doing better than me. I'm so sick of Earth. I'm sick of like losing to those stupid Earth people with all their stupid metahuman bullshit. I don't want to go there anymore and deal with that shit. I want to go to another planet, this world called Braille, or whatever it is, where nobody has like metahuman potential except for one kid who can control metal. Cool. And then we see a bunch of Lobo-looking people. Like, okay, we won't use metal weapons when we go destroy this planet. And what are the names of these people? One's called Tiburon and Duende, and they're Zarnians. I think that's Lobo's people, right? They're Zarnians. They literally say in the book, like, let's show them why the Zarnians erased us from their history books. So, just like Superman is not the last Kryptonian technically, Lobo is no longer the last Zarnian? That's a really fun idea. And oh no, is he gonna be like embarrassed that there's like dickery versions of him? Like these bigger assholes? And he's like, hey, I don't really associate with these kind. They're kind of dumbass pricks. Maybe. But yeah, Brainiac sends the Zarnians to go destroy this planet, and they slaughter it. Cool. And we see that for centuries I have destroyed and hoarded, but soon I will have the power to create life. And we see that Brainiac's trying to create a wife, maybe? That's fun. I mean, okay, this is what the big setup was. When they've been announcing the Dawn of DC books, there's always been like the tentacles of like the Brainiac spaceship floating in the background. So this seems like something we've been wanting to do for a while. It's whatever this big Brainiac thing is. And I'm here for it. Brainiac finally being a threat again is pretty cool. We also got reintroduced to some classic Luthor characters, just from his own history, plus a big chain guy that's got power similar to Connor. Connor might be the key to stopping him. It just was fun and cool. Like, it's a good Superman book. For 850, like, it got a lot done. All of the key characters had their key moments. Pretty fun. I did enjoy that. Very curious to see how this arc is going to wrap up and where the Brainiac stuff is going. Is he building a wife or is he just building like a friend? It feels like a wife. He seems like one of those freaks. So, Superman issue number 7, I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.